live.
We're absolutely not meant to live piled on top of each other within, 10 million of us in a square mile in the island of Manhattan. That's absolutely. Do you remember when there was the floods in Manhattan?
Yes.
All the money in the world couldn't get you out.
Right.
You had to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge to leave Manhattan with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there was a real worry because of climate change. That was going to be happening every year now. People were like, is this the new normal? I remember Shane Smith had some piece on
Shane
Vice.
had to walk out.
Yeah. Shane had to walk out. But he had some piece on Vice where they were detailing the inside of his apartment building. Like the fucking thing was completely flooded, like 6 feet high in water. And people were worried. Like, this is going to be what's happening on a regular basis now. Like, this climate change thing has changed.
I have a heightened sense of, since of 3 kids, it's something that I think about. It's something that I have ready. I bought a generator. I check the batteries, the rechargeable batteries for all of the equipment that I have. I own solar panels. I own the duffel bag full of everything that I need to throw in the back of my pickup truck, grab my kids, and I know which way to drive away from the city to go to the cabin.
Yeah.
It's something I've planned just because I'm the ward of these small humans whom I love.
Yeah.
It's funny you talked about like restriction again, and the thing, just I'm thinking of preparing, and the most common thing that people prepare is food, and they prepare cans and cans and cans of food, but still they eat so much of that food that the best way to prepare would be to start to eat less and learn how to live at 1,700 calories, and learn how to live with the people around you. Because if you're going to spend like 2 months in a bunker or in a bug out location or whatever, you're not some like asshole to your kids and your friends and the family and people with you.
One of the things that happens to people, this is really fascinating, when disasters do strike, is everyone gets a lot friendlier. And this is one thing that I've experienced myself this week. Because when we got evacuated, it was 2:30 in the morning on Thursday, and there was fire, a rock's throw from my house. And I'm not talking a little bit of fire. I'm talking just hundreds of acres of fire. I mean, it was just roaring over. We started to see houses, started seeing the gas lines explode, houses burst into flames, and it was right down the street. So we're seeing this, and we got outside. We're in the driveway. The neighbors come over. Everyone's talking. What are you going to do? I go, we're getting the fuck out of here. And he's like, have they given the evacuation orders? I said, no, we haven't. But I go, it's right there, man. I go, we got to go. I go, if we're wrong and we come back and the house is still here, that's okay. But you want to get out of these things quickly because they can turn south quickly. But there was a sense of camaraderie and community that happens. And then quite a few of us all went to the same hotel, including my friend Tom Segura and his wife and his family went to this hotel too, with some of my friends from this neighborhood who were all there huddled in together. But people were a little extra friendly. There was there was the same kind of feeling after 9/11 when I was in New York City. There was people a little bit more friendly.
We felt that during the ice storm back in the day. People were like assessing the street that we live on. And then they go, well, who's got a wood-burning stove? And they go, oh, Roger does.
Come over.
And then people would go to Roger's house. And all of a sudden, all these neighbors that just wave at each other were all at Roger's house by the wood-burning stove, going back to the houses to get blankets, planning sleeping arrangements, planning food arrangements, and assessing each other, giving each other their personal space, and learning how to speak to each other in a respectful manner, that we might have to do this for several days. Yeah.
Do the best out of it.
Through tragedy, a sense of community was built somewhat or reinforced for a brief moment in time, which made going back to our regular lives on that street better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever read Sebastian Junger's Tribe?
No.
It's a great book, and he kind of talks about that, about how, in part, situations of extreme stress and when people are really pushed, those people bond together, and they find that these are the happiest times of their life. People that even go to war, they find that they miss the camaraderie of the bunker. They miss the camaraderie
trenches.
of being in the trenches. They miss the camaraderie of being together, huddled up, not knowing what's going to happen in the future, but counting and depending upon each other for their very lives.
That's a thing that happens in very, very, very busy kitchens.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of no education guys out of cooking school working a difficult restaurant line. You know, we're working 6 guys on 6 4-burner stoves every night, a difficult menu with a difficult chef in a very busy restaurant. Those hours, you know, from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. at night,
like it's intimate.
It's intimate, like, you know,
it's
like my nose. You're bending over to get into the stove to get a chicken out. I'm grabbing something out of the fridge. My nose is in your butt. Your nose is in my butt. Right. You know, I need your knife. You need my knife. It's very, very, very close quarters. Often, like some of my strongest relationships, some of his strongest relationships are, you know, the bond that I've built with guys that I've cooked on lines, whether in Europe or here, are unbreakable. You know, these guys got your back. Tony talked a lot about that, you know.
Yeah, I think people are better off when they're struggling.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I think they're better off when they're you know, when life creates challenges. And there's things to overcome, and there's difficulties to get through, and there's real pressure involved in these, and there's physical activity involved in these pressures as well.
Yeah, it's like rowing on the galley.
Yeah.
The centurion and the cat o' nine tails looming over you.